Hi trader, welcome to the weekly Forex video. Today, of course, looking at the euro dollar, pound dollar, and dollar yen. First of all, though, be aware that this video is not suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Also, please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's kick off the video with euro dollar, and I've been bullish ever since price has broken through 113. Basically, I thought that that was the max retracement I would expect within the potential downtrend. And the price broke above it, broke above 110, broke above 113, broke above 115, and is now heading towards 117.50 and perhaps after that 120. Definitely strong uptrend on the euro dollar, and definitely no talk about a bearish environment at all. Okay, we had of course resistance back in here, but from my point of view, the break of 108, 110 were already caution signs. 113 confirmed the upside, and you're seeing basically 1 week after another bullish candles, good momentum to the upside, and this is looking to be honest like a wave 3 bullish momentum. So I think that this trend could continue. Last week was a bullish candle with a close near the high, indicating that the bulls kept control, remained in control, and I'm expecting that a small retracement could occur of last week's candle, but that's about it. And I would expect price to challenge and test 117.50, which is at the moment the main target. If of course price were to break above it, it could continue, but 117.50 is around level we need to be aware of. So let's zoom in to the daily chart. Let's put a fib on this weekly candle, actually from the very bottom to the very top here, like that, and then zoom in. And we can see that the weekly pivot point is around the 38.2 fib. If we put the fib on this last swing, you can see a 50 fib too. So around 116, 115.75 here, 2 fibs, a weekly pivot point. So that could be a bouncing spot. We see more confluence around 115 yet again, but I don't think that the price will get down to challenge that level again. I think that 116, it's 116/115.75 could definitely provide a potential bounce area, and price could then head up to 117.50, where we see -272 targets, and also the R1 plus, of course, the psychological round level. As it's, these round levels are important too. So multiple factors that say, okay, a bounce here, as I said, up to here seems likely in my view. And of course, if we have to see how price responds to 117.50, maybe there's going to be, excuse me, a bigger correction and then a continuation later this week. That's something we'll dive into the live webinars on Tuesday and Wednesday. But for the moment, a bounce here seems likely, and I don't think that the price should break below 115 again. That is, in my view, at this moment, the maximum retracement that I would expect for the euro dollar. So more on the euro dollar, in fact, Nennet will explain on his session recap, of course, and of course Wednesday too, with his live trading session. I myself will also take a look at the euro dollar and of course other currency pairs and other financial instruments on Tuesday. Wednesday's live rooms, where we take a look at entry and exit tactics, and Wednesday at candlestick and fib patterns. And Thursday we have an educational webinar taking a look at expert advisors. So hope to see you in one or perhaps all of these webinars soon. Pound dollar 1 hour chart is moving higher as well, and it's about to break the weekly pivot point, as you can see, and the 130 resistance. And it looks like a pretty good channel to the upside, but we have to be aware that price is a bit more hesitant on the pound than it is on the euro dollar. And I think that this channel could even turn out to be a bearish channel. If price breaks through the channel, I wouldn't be surprised. In that case, I would like to see price basically retest S1 and perhaps the S2 even, and this bottom. I think overall, the environment is still bullish. And I do think that price will continue higher. Up to test 132.50, 135. That's my view from the higher time frames, but I'm not 100% sure it will happen right now, and that's why I'm looking at this channel. And if it breaks support of this channel, I think that the price could correct lower first to retest this moving average, or maybe even this bottom, before continuing that uptrend. In that case, we're having a classical kind of bigger correction like this, an ABC, for those that like waves. So, from that point of view, I think that pound dollar is a bit more question mark at this point. If it does break above the weekly pivot point, the Keltner and the channel, there is space to go to 131. For me, most interesting though is if price breaks, how does it break? Is there a lot of momentum? Fine, then I'll wait for bull flag of course, and then wait for the breakout above the flag to trade to the upside, like this. All right, so that could be a setup that we might be looking at on Tuesday or Wednesday. This is something I would be interested in if we got momentum, strong momentum, and a mild kind of corrective pattern, chart pattern. Something that I would think about upside. Downside, I would think about if it breaks below 130 again and this channel. At this particular moment, right at the average, because price is kind of going sideways, it is more or less kind of oscillating around the average, around the mean. It doesn't seem to have a real clear intent. So at this moment, I rather not trade the pound and rather just wait for price to show a clear direction first. Dollar yen is more interesting than the pound. So far, I think that the euro dollar is the most interesting. I would say dollar yen is on the second place at this moment. It is in a triangle, and if we look at the monthly chart, you can see that price was in a strong uptrend here, strong bullish momentum, made a pretty good correction, then bounced. All right, and I think that from this perspective, price could retest this bottom here again of this triangle, this around 107.50 probably. 106 at this moment, 105. So let's take a look at the daily chart, and you can see that price is going sideways at this point, right? So before price might get at 106, 105, we also have to realize that there is a bouncing spot right there, and that's around 110. All right, you can see 109, 110. So for the moment, price is moving with good momentum to the downside. You can see that right here, and it is in a good trend at this moment, but 110, 109 could be a bouncing spot, or it could at least stop price from moving lower, and it could go sideways or build a triangle. So for the moment, I think there's more space to the downside at on the dollar yen, and price could go down to 110, and we see a pretty good momentum. I think at this point, the max retracement that I would expect is by putting a fib on this hourly chart, and probably the 38.2 fib, maybe the 50, 111, 111.40. I don't think more retracement is really to be expected on this dollar yen. Probably 111.25 if it retraces, because it could continue actually hit the S1 first of all. So let's put the fib there. All right. So what could happen is price hits the S1 at 110.50, then bounces up to the 111 at 38.2 fib, and then finishes it down to 110. So for me, this little bit of downside here is not interesting. It's just a few pips. For me, more interesting is this particular trade right there. From 111 to 110 is 100 pips. And of course, it could still break through 110, but I wouldn't count on that. I would be targeting 110.04 or 110.08. So that looks like an interesting potential setup, I think, for later this week if we get the retracement. I'm not sure. Price might dash right down to 110, and that's possible. But I think that from this perspective, trading it on the dollar yen, it's better to wait for 111. If someone caught the trade right in here, that's great. Then you're in that trade, and you can move it to break even, and basically just wait, or maybe not even break even, but move it to. I would probably move it to above this 50 fib, somewhere here, like this, so that if it retraces back to 111, it doesn't get tagged. But you're good to go, basically, more or less, right? On its way, at least. So at this particular spot, it is even possible to trade it right here. But with the S1 pretty close by, I think waiting for the 38 and the 111 is more prudent plan, more cautious plan, but I think valid for this particular case. So what happens if price eventually gets to 110? Then we'll have to see. Again, we're going to discuss that in the live webinar. It depends if price is making a sideways correction like this on the 4-hour chart. Yes, more downside to be expected, and perhaps we'll get a break and a continuation of this dollar yen. For the moment, though, I'm not 100% sure about that, because if you look at this price action, it is going sideways, and once price gets to this bottom, it could be a bouncing spot too. So we'll see when price gets there, and we'll analyze it again. All right, hope to see you in the webinars. Of course, check out admirmarkets.com and you'll find out more analytics, webinars, articles, you name it. MT4 Supreme Edition with tons of extra features and indicators. So a lot of good stuff there, and we'll wish you all good trading. Cheers.